QR, and you can pretty much get an idea of, oh shit, Hannibal is out having fun. The Roman legion goes, oh shit, we're still here, we're having fun. And so yeah, when you're thinking about how you're just going to recruit an army, I'm sitting here with players going, oh, but we're like 5 adventurers, and we can murder an entire 100-man group. And if I don't care about what I'm arming my troops with, next month I can have that entire thing replaced. But don't you care about your casualties? I care about the kingdom far more. And if I have spent my time seeding the populace with patriotism, loyalty, I have been a benevolent ruler. Of course they want to come up and I come up and serve me. Or if I'm playing a more feudalistic mentality, I literally just go out there and say, conscription time. I need 100 really good peasants. This works for China. This works for Rome. This works for anybody who's not Sparta in the Dark Ages. Pretty much just go out there and give everybody sticks and mediocre weapons and butter knives and go out there and fight. And people are like, and you're like, your little ragtag bandit horde of like 25 we're just mean barbarians on horseback, and we got swords of we got some Conan music playing in the background, and suddenly you look over the horizon and oh fuck, how many people are on the hill? And they get their barbarian going, I'll take the 500 on the right, and you take the 500 on the left, and the other barbarian goes, fuck you, I'll take 501. And then you flash forward to those 2 barbarians on the ground getting their dicks kicked in by all the peasants. And that's how Kingmaker works. When you start figuring out how bad Kingmaker really is, when you really understand the rules.
I want to play Kingmaker again, but with him this time. Not as the DM, just the party.
And I would like to welcome everybody in the chat and all of our friends to episode 42 of Tablebreakers. My name is Bruce. You can see the figurines here. Anyway, we started a little bit late, and I apologize, but Blaine got on a really good tangent talking about recruitment and harvest time and getting your marshaled troops to war. So screw it. Let's just turn on the camera. Keep going. And I think that's really important to have in a campaign. And one thing I don't think the players have shared with you yet for that campaign, Chimerian, is that there are 3 players that have the leadership feat.
Oh dear God! I should be able to say, look, I should be able to go to as your guys's, proxy viceroy and go, look, do any of you have 3? I just need 3 level 3 characters to use as drill sergeants to be in charge of Alpha, Baker, and Charlie Company of the training formation, so that way I can train your guy. Your guys can be trained. If you give me 9, I can start that rolling recruitment system that never ends, and that there's always those poor bastards who are coming out the bus who are watching the guys who are getting beaten shit further, and then the guys who are going to beat the shit out of them when lights go out. Going, this is the engine we're going to run, and you're going to be part of it. And know that on month 4, the first graduates get to go off and become part of the regulars now. Congratulations. And at that point, it looks puny now. 200 well-trained level 2 fighters. What can you do? That's not that impressive. But then you wait a month. Now there's 400. Now there's 600. Now there's 800. Now there's 1,000. I have a full legion now. Not just cohorts, a legion. And if I can keep up on establishing enough farms to continue to support the legion as it grows, soon the party could have access to 2, 3 legions. They give me 3 years. I can put a solid 3 legions onto the field, and you'll be able to just. And that's what people who are retiring. Oh no, I can put a full legion on the field and maintain a full legion while having people able to retire at the end of their paycheck, at the end of their service. But to know that in 3 years, there's 2 reserve legions of retired farmers who are just sitting here going, we're farmers, we're enjoying our life, we're crafters, and then some evil enemy on the horizon's like, ha, they've only got 1,000 soldiers in their entire kingdom. What are they going to do? At which point I just go, oh, it's time to actually reactivate the reserves. Snap your fingers, and then suddenly out of nowhere, 2 fully armed legions pop up out of nowhere. Like, where the fuck did they come from? And now it's like, so you brought your 1,000 badasses, and I have brought 3,000 badasses. Which one do you got? Like, which one do you want to fight now? And like, oh shit. And that's that's how you sustain a militant war economy going. And I can continue to do this. And now you're just adding in, well, militant expansion. Well, they've got their stuff is our stuff soon, and I need to be able to take their stuff because we want a bigger army. And so, and plus, thanks to the party having explored so much land, thank you so much land, that I can literally retire people at the rate of expansion, be able to do the Roman thing of literally every month retire 100 soldiers from 200 soldiers from active duty, and give them farmland on the horizon as far as the eye can see. Because when Bruce gave me the amount of freaking money, how much land you guys have claimed but done nothing with, and I looked at the map and went, oh shit, I could do so much with this. I could literally sustain an army that would like conquer a peninsula and establish a long reigning empire from just this small little cadre that I'm going there. You give me 10 years, I'll give you the Roman Republic.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all.
But I can do this entirely without the party having given me a single dime of money, because the party hasn't given me a dime yet to work with. So
Hey.
Yeah?
We have to be in one place long enough to give you a dime that we earn. You can come visit us in your war wagon.
I'm currently busy, building Rome.
Currently, saving the kingdom. Yeah.
It's like, I need an army. Could you wait 4 months? Just wait 4 months, and I can give you an army.
I don't think there'll be anything left in 4 months.
Well, I don't care about the rest of the kingdom. I care about Rome and its nearby neighbors. That's all I care about now.
Fair enough. Wow, I actually have a friend in chat. So does Jay, technically.
But anyway, do you have any questions about war before I continue to just ramble about how to establish an empire? 101?
Yes, I have a question about war.
Okay.
Was it good for?
A lot, as long as you're not a spineless bunch of fucking wimps. A lot.
All right.
Until somebody creates a nuke, and then it's no longer fun anymore.
So this week we're talking about war, and just we turned on the camera because Blaine was explaining, or Kai's explaining things, and I think this is something that people need to hear this, because when you're doing a war campaign for your tabletop games, having somebody at the table that will be your General MacArthur, not running off to Australia, mind you, in the face of danger, but who can actually plan ahead and anticipate and properly counterattack. And eventually MacArthur did get some...
I am not MacArthur. I am General Marshall. Thank you very fucking much. There we go. This is who I emulate here. General Marshall. MacArthur's crap. I don't want MacArthur.
I'm not a big MacArthur guy, but MacArthur's... People might recognize MacArthur. People don't recognize General Marshall.
True.
Okay. So when doing a war campaign, I guess, when you're running a war campaign, I guess there's a $1 million question is, do you, when planning the other side, do you do it by number? Do you do it squad by squad? I mean, what kind of foe is the person going to be running against? Is it going to be a mixture of hobgoblins, Uruk-hai, and a few cave giants? Because, I mean, I hate using Lord of the Ring as an example, but if you look at the last big battle during Lord of the Rings, there was a mixture of damn near everything on the field. I guess that question goes out to everyone.
Well, in Return of the King, the last big battle is at the Black Gates.
Yeah. I mean,
and they've got everything there.
Yeah.
I mean, the good guys really had a good idea. Let's go spawn camping. They just didn't realize, like, there's that many we got to go spawn camping on.
Also, the final attack was kind of we knew it was a bad idea before we went. I mean, but they did it because they had to do it. Because somebody said it was a distraction. You had to do it. Nobody went and said, let's go out and attack this and know we're going to die. Well, no. No. But honestly, it comes down to the level of detail that you're telling your story in. I may be playing my planning and gaming around the MacArthur Marshall level of weirdness. Yeah, you're right. Scale with the party. I know that I was throwing grand levels of Consul of the Republic types of insanity, but I'm also looking at the mentality of but I know that if I was, say, running a military campaign for, say, a small adventuring group, you look more at, like, are you going to tell, like, a Band of Brothers style game or a Saving Private Ryan where one big, like, so say you're going to use Lord of the Rings, for example. It's like, okay, do you tell the whole Battle of Pelennor Fields, or do you just have the one elephant who's stomping its way through the entire thing? There's your Tiger tank. There's your super weapon that's stomping its way through. Do you have some knights who are trying to burst their way in before to kill a single giant that's throwing boulders at the castle walls? That's right up there with, oh fuck, we're in the middle of this shit. Things are going wrong. We need to fucking do something. And you gotta. Sure, the rest of the battle's happening around you, and you can even have the rest of the battle have a grander scale. But the adventure part is, it might end up being one player who's one player's in the back of a chariot firing bows, while another player is trying their best to keep the archer alive. Another player is just trying to keep the whole chariot alive while they're just rampaging around a battlefield while they're trying to fend off lizard archers who are trying to kill them. That could be a pivotal moment. That could be an interesting thing. If you're, say, I'm running the Battle of Endor, and I'm not running the full Battle of fucking Endor. Fuck that shit. But if you got some guys in an X-wing and they're having some fun dogfighting, fucking run the chaos. Like, you don't need to run. I run the entire scale of that conflict. You just run one guy, one group who's having fun adventuring. But meanwhile, if you got a player who's like built their character around, I'm the admiral on the command ship. Yeah, okay, give him sure, the scale. Like, if you have, let's say I run the same battle, not say Endor, but say a major space naval battle, but I'm not running dogfighters, and the players have built themselves to be, here's the admiral, here's the flag captain, here's his chief of staff, here's his communications officer. You're running the party as the staff officers. The battle changes completely in scale, and now things are way more like just slow moving and grand scale. But this could all be happening in the same battle, same campaign, just different points of view. I can run both of those things, or you can have a ground combat. It's just, it all comes down to what level you're going to be playing at, what level you're going to be running. And I mean, hell, same massive battle, and oh shit, the ship's on fire. The campaign, your entire campaign could be the engineering crew. You have no idea what's going on around you. Just simply, oh shit, like 4 frames are now on fire on several decks. Oh crap! Start getting to keep the air in or keep the water out, and keep the thing afloat, keep the fight going. Like, you have players who are like, we want to play a war campaign, but we're all playing medics, clerics, doctors. Well, shit, guess what? Your healing magic, is not infinite. I hope to God you've watched a little bit of MASH, or you have an idea what damage control is. How can you stabilize people? How can you get people out of problems? You can have so much fun with, and never actually be in command, never being in charge, just being grunts or being people who are part of it. And these are just fragments of, and these are the scary points. These are the really scary points before you get back to the boring mundanity, or just trying to reestablish mundanity after the action is over, and you get a few hours, days, weeks, months of rest, boring and nothing, and problems are happening. There's so much you can do, and yes, sure. Fantasy, sure. It's 1,000 orcs or a couple cave trolls in there, and a frost giant, and some bad scary wyvern things, right, with horrible knights on them. And yeah, but the thing is that, are they in your area? Dear God.
Yeah, I mean,
I do want to say real quick, I want to give a shout out to James L. He's a good viewer of ours, a good friend of many of us here in the panel, and he gives us $5 Australian, and the super sticker is the Shiba Inu. It looks like Shiba Inu getting tired, but at least he's not carrying around the horny bonk stick, and that's what I was happy about, because nobody in this panel deserves that quite yet.
Yeah, we haven't started talking about Strippers Guild yet.
Yeah, James, I hope you're feeling better.
I'll bring this up whenever we start talking about this. The Super Strippers Guild. We'll bring up the super sticker. But
all right,
you have Helsinki talks about coexisting mini or mega games have coexisted in layers which you can integrate however you feel like. Yes. And you can have like all these different subsystems like what Pathfinder does. And Blaine's touching on this. He's touching on this right now. I say that because he's only going into like a 15-minute dissertation. He could, if we pull his cord in the afternoon, he could go for 3 or 4 hours by himself. And I don't really need him to do that, but I need him to be able to say enough to put you pointed in the right direction to get your answers you need. Anybody else? But before we pull James again, anybody else have anything to say about that?
No, I agree. Everything that he's been saying for the last 18 minutes, I think it's right on board for type of war settings. I got kind of a few questions per se, but the level that he's bringing these answers out, I don't think my questions are appropriate.
No. Go ahead, ask them. You got to start somewhere. I know that I may be running at like a 400 level, but you got to start somewhere. Not everyone runs at that level. The right. Are important.
Now, I know I asked a lot of the basic questions last week, and I appreciate for you guys' patience last week. And I have a feeling, this week might be a little bit of the same, and I apologize for that. But, since I don't really run war campaigns, maybe I should be the one asking questions because I'm the novice in this scenario. Now, when it comes to, I don't know if basic fantasy RPGs would be the right setting for wars. When they think of wars, I think, was that 40K or Bolt Action, or Babylon 5, or Star Wars, Star Trek? And would that be more of a correct setting for these styles of campaign?
You can make it work in any game. I've done it. Whether it be science fiction, fantasy. Kai and I were even talking about Boot Hill had a module called Range War that, Boot Hill's a Western role-playing game. And, war is sometimes often only thought of in huge, massive numbers. But, in a Boot Hill setting, it could be, 15 on 15, but everybody's spread out all over the place. There's these things called skirmishes where it's just a few guys against a few guys. And then if you survive, then you go up against the next, band of skirmishers. Any game that the players are willing to participate in a quote unquote war game is good. The problem is when, and I'm sure Jade will attest to this, when your players absolutely just put their feet down and say, we want no part of it, then that's when you run into the trouble. The trick, I think, is to get them to want it more than anything. When their fervor and their ire is up and they can't wait to get onto that battlefield. A lot of people, a lot of characters have no place on the front lines. My paladin is a great example. I'm itching to be on those front lines. If I go down on the front lines, so be it. But I want to have that image in my mind of everywhere I look, there's troops on my side and against me. The trenches are out there, the artillery's out there. I want to be there. That's what I think of in a war campaign, just like in a war movie. You're there. You're yes, there's some good war movies. Force 10 from Navarone, The Guns of Navarone, where you're that elite band. But how many people really have the brass, to be right there where you can take a shot from someone you can't even see? You can take a spear, an arrow. People just decide, hey, that's an officer. You 20 orcs and you 20 orcs, we're all going to go dogpile on that character. Now, in the old days, that 10th level fighter would have cleaned up 20 orcs in 2 melee rounds, no problem, because he got one attack per melee round per level against one hit die monsters. So getting that Conan-esque moment where you're standing on a pile of 20, 30 bodies, when I think war, that's what I'm itching for. But like I said, the trick is getting the players to want to be there. Wizards, druids, thieves, they're not going to want any part of that. The bard, he's back with the generals, using some binoculars or a telescope, and got pen in hand, and he's writing about the battle. But your warriors, your rangers, your knights, etc., they should live for those moments. And if your party isn't made up of mostly those kind of characters, then war's probably not the best idea. Maybe it's time for that one fighter in the party to go, well, guys, it's been fun, but my duty's over there.
I disagree, but the reason why I say that is that I served in the service of the sea service, and the sea service might have a bunch of tough hombres in it, but there's also a bunch of eggheads that go into it because they don't want to live in a tent if they get sent out somewhere for the Air Force. You always got your rack with you. It's always air conditioned. And so you can live a fairly comfortable life until the bombs start dropping inside the hull of the ship. But
absolutely, I think I covered that. There are people who don't want the front lines. There are people who do. The Marines.
So the thing is that you have guys that choose to be Navy grunts and go for the Marine Corps or the cult of the military. And then you have guys that are like, listen, after I get done with this 4-year active stint, I'm going to go program somewhere and do maybe I'll be like Garrett and just run behind the scenes coding on a bunch of people's YouTube channels and such and help maximize their viewership. They do things like that. And I know Garrett was Army, but there's a lot more guys that are, as time is going on and warfare is getting more and more technical, we're getting away from swords and sandals in modern warfare, and we're getting to the point where literally you could be a fat guy with a laptop and you could be playing with a drone strafing troops 2 countries over. It's happening right now. And the thing is that with the various things that you want to focus on as a DM to give the players that scope of you are involved in the war effort, you can go completely Axe, Adventure, Conqueror, King system, and you can run a campaign to where you have huge volumes of troops that are being given signals, and it will take an hour or 2 for the results to come back as to did they follow your orders right? Do they keep their morale? And you could run things like that. You could pull out old GMT games, Command and Colors, and run that on the side if you so choose, because that would be a perfect way to resolve things like that. If you guys are familiar with GMT games, Command and Colors is a fantastic board game. Very little prep time, hour on the battlefield, and you get done with it, and you can have it packaged within like 80 minutes. And you could have a legion or 2 of resolution. So I'm just saying that is probably one thing I would be wanting to go to if I didn't already use Pathfinder's system, which is in the Ultimate Campaign book, which does work fairly well. I think Chimerian and I have discussed this a couple times. It's not the most elegant system, but it will work. It will frack. Go ahead.
It actually works pretty solid for a lot of things.
And James L. for another Australian $5 says, get some Adventure Conqueror King system up your cracks.
Now,
I'll try that.
Axe is like what 3rd edition AD&D could have been if it was written by somebody who loved the game and not said, ooh, cash grab, Watsy, hello.
It's actually, having gone through it recently, it's very, very reminiscent of BECMI or Rules Cyclopedia, Races Class. Your hit dice are, if you're lucky, a D6 on average. There's a couple of D8 hit die character professions, but it's very much Rules Cyclopedia or BECMI, I think.
Okay.
Baron, anything you want to say to this?
I think you guys beat this hog dead.
Oh, we ain't done beating it all here.
Whoa, this is a family show.
Question.
All right. So I guess we'll go into my next question. When dialing down the kind of campaign you want to run, do you bring the war right into their face, or is it a slow burn, like a kind of not of a mystery, but Duke Ferdinand gets shot by some assassin. Next thing we know, boom, straight to war.
Oh, well, no. First off, you just mentioned the Guns of August. No, there is no straight into war. There's never a straight into war. If we're doing a World War I style thing, where at any point there's mobilization charts, you got to walk through on how things have to get raised. There is none of this professional standing army bullshit. None of this shock and awe crap. No, you got to work up towards it. You need to rate. Shit. There's a lot that you got. Like the Storm Clouds. There is so much that goes into the fucking all the problems that happen before everything gets started off here. You have to sure, you can have hell. We're gonna go back to just fantasy, to just the arc book of all of it, Lord of the Rings. Sauron didn't just come out of nowhere swinging. And Saruman didn't come out of nowhere swinging. There were storm clouds rising long before the invasion starts. Now, was anyone listening to those storm clouds? Not really. Some were. The Rangers were looking out for it. You had problems in the north. You had problems everywhere. Everyone was looking around for it, but nobody in charge was listening to it. So your players can be the ones who are sitting there ringing the goddamn bell saying, the end is coming, everyone to arms, and then have the leadership go, we don't believe you. You don't have sufficient intelligence. What proof do you have that the Dark Lord has returned to Mordor? I don't know. Giant tower. It's burning. And you can see it from your front yard. Oh, but we've been here for 1,000 years. We have no problem with it. And oh fuck, shit's going on. Oops. Now, so even Lord of the Rings has build up. You have to have time. So just again, using Middle Earth, throwing players into a situation just like Middle Earth, just with scrape off the fucking name tag, the serial numbers, and so you can be playing somebody who's on the borderland, some area in the region between Rohan and Gondor, and looking at the increase in goblins and orcs maneuvering around openly. Wait a second, the militia can handle it. Yeah, we can take care of a problem. Our heroes can handle a few rogue random raiders and tribes, but maybe there's more to it. So you go out there and investigate it. Oh shit, there might be a few more scarier things out there that shouldn't be running around. You build up to it. Because like I said, again, we all think Archduke Ferdinand gets shot. The war starts immediately. You forget the fact that there was so many points of miscommunication that happens before World War I starts, and so many treaties that were being activated, and negotiations, and even up to almost the last minute where somebody's going, somebody back down, somebody give us a chance, a way out, and an asshole fucking ambassador in Russia, a Kaiser on a boat who was not paying attention, and a bunch of British assholes who decided to work over a weekend rather than go on a vacation like they usually do, leads to millions dead. I mean, millions! A generation in the ground because of a prince, an asshole Russian ambassador, a Kaiser on a boat, the Belgians not wanting to cooperate, and some British who decided to listen to an angry guy talk on a weekend, leads to the greatest war, one of the greatest wars in history. Greatest as in largest kill count, worst. That would inspire Lord of the Rings. I mean, dear God. But if you're an asshole, if you want to run the idea that your players have no idea what's going on here, the world, they're just some peasants who are happily going, I'm an adventurer, I'm having fun, I'm not paying attention to the politics, and suddenly the war banners go up there, and they're like, oh shit, what's going on here? And then some guy rides into town saying, by order of the king, we are now initiating conscription in the draft. There will be one male from each family that must now meet up at the designated place at this time. And you people over there who are well equipped with your own shit, you're also drafted. Get over and meet up with the rest of them on Wednesday. And closes up their summons, leaves. You can have your players have that kind of a nightmare situation happen. That's how you can ambush a players if your players aren't paying attention to the news. But if your players have any form of awareness, they might realize that. This requires you as a GM to understand that there are always a chain of events that can always be happening. And if your players bother to do any kind of lore, any kind of research, any kind of knowledge into it, if you have a bard in the party or somebody who can ask a goddamn question, you need to know why this is your fire point. This is the match. This is what lit the whole thing on fire. Why did it light it on fire? Why? You need to know this as a GM to make it feel better. So to use Archduke Ferdinand as an example, you need to remember that things are falling apart in this. There's a grand alliance. You need to be able to understand why the alliances are all happening. If you don't need to know it now, but you need to understand that your players are going to ask why, unless your players don't care. And at that point, congratulations, you have the easiest puppets in the entire world. You point them at a direction, shake them up, and go throw them at things. Things will explode. But if your players ever want to know why, you need to be able to start either know beforehand or can figure it out on your own. This is why learning history and learning geopolitics and learning what the order of events and why things happen is important. So that way you as a player, as a GM, can be able to adapt what you've learned to use it for your players. So that way when they understand, oh shit, why is the British getting in on this? They weren't part of the alliance between France and Germany. Oh wait, no, sorry, France and Russia. Wait, no, but they had a deal with Belgium, and Germany cut through Belgium. Oh fuck, shit's gone wrong. Why is this happening? They have an alliance over here. Why are we fighting this? There's an alliance going on here. Things are being active. So therefore, if you're playing Lord of the Rings, well, why the hell did Rohan come in here? There's problems. There's ancient trees. That's why the elves showed up. That's why there's Rohan's there. That's why Gondor's there. These are all elements that you should be able to understand. And if your players know a little bit more of the lore, they might go, well, wait, can we pull in the ranges of the north? Can you find them? Because they're fighting a war up there. Oh shit! Okay, maybe there's more going on here than I possibly realize. And you can pull all this in. Now, mind you, your players don't need to know any of this shit, but they should be able to ask and get the right answer.
That's fair.
What about the proverbial sneak attack? Whether it be Pearl Harbor, although some people will say that we knew it was coming, to Battlestar Galactica, Mars attacks, no warning, especially in a sci-fi situation.
But okay, now we're going to use. I'll hit 2 of those 3 answers because Mars attacks is just weird. And I will not use Mars attacks. I will use War of the Worlds. So answer in 3 parts. Part 1. If you look at Pearl Harbor, you will have noticed that there were many points that the location was not known, but the fleet was known to have departed. They didn't know where it was heading. You can always run up with that. So if you're using a Pearl Harbor analog, you could be running so you're in the Navy, your intel guy comes down and says, the Kinabutai has put to sea. The greatest carrier force in the Navy, in the world, has put to sea. We don't know where it's going, but we're safe because we're on an island. There's no way in fuck they're going to get here. Now, mind you, you can do that in any fantasy world. You can just find some other reason of course they're going to go invade X, Y, and Z, and we're S. No one's going to hit S. Oops, S got hit. But the thing is, you knew it was coming. War was coming. You knew it was going to happen. Battlestar Galactica, you were in the middle of it. Like the fleet was on. Now, are we talking original series or next or reimagined?
Original.
Okay. The Cylon Colonial War has been going on for quite a long time. Everyone thought the war was winding down, and that's why the peace summit the peace fleet has been assembled. The Battlestar fleet's been sent. And of course you're going to come in good faith. That's just idiocy. Oops, bad shit happened. The fleet gets destroyed. The homeworld and the colonies are destroyed. Oops. We totally misjudged the scale of the Cylon threat. And I mean, really, that's honestly the Colonials' fault in the original series was they just misjudged the size of the Cylon threat. And War of the Worlds, well, that one is a true sneak attack, but that's again, you're playing. But now we're looking at War of the Worlds from a military point of view. Look at the last voyage of Thunderchild. Best fucking part of that book is watching that steam ram make its while refugees are streaming out of London, and suddenly it's like here comes 3 war walkers getting ready to go smash refugee fleet, and this is Battlestar Galactica fucking 101 right here. Like this is the original Battlestar Galactica right the fuck here is this one ram outnumbered, outgunned, and choosing to stand its fucking ground and charging into the war walkers, and it's like it's fighting. This is its last fight. You know it's its last fight, and it's going brave as fuck. As what you expect from the Royal Navy. It's going in there, and it's beating the shit out of those walkers. This should be the point that players should be like, this is the fight that players should be wanting to do. There are civilians trying to escape. You are the only thing between them and destruction, and you go down swinging. And I mean, fucking going down. But like, because like reading through that section, it's like watching Thunderchild get fucking just fried by the heat beams, and then watching her boilers go up, and she's still shooting as she's sinking. This is what players should be aspiring to. This is the heroism of being that thin line between you and what makes you a hero and not a horrible conquering villain. And because we all like players are like, oh, I can be a warlord, but like, no, we're playing a role playing game to be heroes. You want to go walking in there like Thunderchild. Go in there like this is like you're the one person who's standing between those who can and can't. You're the one who can fight so others can get away and not die because they can't. You're being the hero. That's how it's like. Oh, that's just how it should fucking be. That's how you do is. Like, by that point in War of the Worlds, though, the sneak attack has already happened, but you realize humans are fucked. And this is the personification of British industrial might on display. This is Victorian firepower, and it's being proven that it's worthless. And the fact is that sets up the fact that when the invaders die, it's not due to our prowess or our industrial might. It's because of the of the flu that saves humanity. I mean, that was the point of that battle. It was a good point. But yes. Oh, but anyway.
Well, there's many other sneak attacks in especially sci-fi where Earth is completely unaware, or relatively unaware. They've got minutes, hours, 24 hours to, react, protect, Independence Day, etc. We seem to just be focusing on fantasy, and of course the same thing can be true for fantasy campaigns. You could have your Dark Lord that out of nowhere suddenly the undead is right there in your face. Yeah, and, it doesn't have to be undead, but that's the easiest. It could be magically hidden orcs or goblins or what have you. I don't always the player characters are rarely, especially if they're first level and just starting out, they're in no position to be getting this sort of intel to explain why they're in war. It's just suddenly out of nowhere, you're in war.
Oh yeah,
as opposed to building up.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I know what I prefer, but yes, okay, yeah, I completely can see that point. Yes, good. Anyway, anyone else?
I'm going to lean this question more towards Jade.
Well, what about Baron and Jade? Did they have any response to this question? Nada? You're muted.
I don't even know what the question was.
Okay. Well, this question is definitely leans more towards you.
So we can move on to the next question because
next question leans more to you. I know that you have played, at least ran a campaign where it was like the war started, but it was the next generation. By the next generation, that's when they got into it. This is from running the campaign right in Moss Avenue.
Yeah, now, so I've run 4-5 different games that were based on war, or a war that was happening.
Right, and I realize these are all homebrew campaigns, which I think yours are absolutely brilliant. But anyways, what my question is it easier to have the war already going on with the next generation dealing with it, or starting a war with the first generation?
Okay, I'm gonna
go for it.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say with every game that I have run that has had a war at its central theme has utterly and equivocally failed. The games fell apart. And part of that was the players wanted absolutely zero part in it. Zero. No interest at all. They would rather have watched the world burn than take part in saving it. So, now to answer your question, yeah, I find it's easier if the war is already going on somewhere in the background to get players motivated, or some players, not all, motivated in that direction. Because if they hear the rumblings of war at the very, very beginnings of the game, like levels 1 through 3, they know it's happening. It's kind of there in the background. It's always present. So they know eventually, I'm not mincing words. I'm not, hiding the fact that they are not going to get involved. No, they are going to get involved. It's there, prevalent from the very first beginnings of the game. So I'm not like bashing them over the head with it constantly. I'm not going to sneak up and go, oh, by the way, now you're in war. Time to deal with it. No, right. It's always there at the back of their mind. It's spoken of in whispers in pubs, like, hey, did you hear? Yeah, I heard that the farm fields, 20 miles to the west got burned and salted. Is the front lines really moving that close? So, I mean, I'm constantly like seeding in those ideas that the war is coming to their area. Now, again, most of my players want absolutely fuck all to do with war. They will literally let entire nations burn to the absolute ground instead of getting involved. They have no care whatsoever because the only thing they care about is what makes them money. That is the players I have had in my area. I've had maybe 4 over the course of 5 games who actually gave one shit about what was happening in the world at large. Now, I don't know if that's a, me only problem, like if I'm the only GM that's happened to, or if it's a larger systemic problem with maybe 3.5, because that's the system I was running, 3.5 and Pathfinder, that they only cared about loot and literally nothing else. Or what was the other thing they cared about? Oh, yes, whores. No, that's not necessarily directed at just you, Connell. That's directed at several players over the years. But like I said, I have had absolutely no successful game that has had war at its central theme. And as far as mercenary work, typically, yeah, they do start off as mercenary. Trooper 1985 there says mercenary work, ? Yeah, that's how it starts for some of them. They start as a part of mercenary company. Or they'll start, as maybe members of a local militia or a local town guard who get completely overrun. Or maybe they're from the main capital of the main city that's at the heart of all this. And they're, it's like, hey, guess what? You're called up to action. We need defenders on the front line. But like I said, I never surprised them with the concept. Like they know from the onset. Because I normally have the war starting up in the background at some point. It's always there.
All right.
I hear you say that, and then I think back to Grave Pearl, Book 3 of the Dresden Files, which kicks off the entire vampire versus human or the magician conflict that goes on for about 17 books, and it's still kind of talked about.
I mean,
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, at least a good 15 of them.
Yeah.
And 40 books later.
Yeah.
There's a way for you, Jade, to shove it to the players and be like, you will be part of this situation. No, you're not going to be in the trenches because you're a magician in modern day San Francisco or Oklahoma City or wherever the fuck you want to stage your game at. But you do have the hints right there for if you're not playing like a fantasy game like what Blaine's talking about or like what I was talking about, if you want to run something like what you're doing with Beyond the Dark Door and have this supernatural war going on between these factions and the human survivors or the human elites, there's a real good way for you to keep mentioning it session after session for like 15 sessions. And then you hit one of the players below the bread basket and say, yesterday, a group of Red Court vampires barged into your mom's home and killed the dog, and they kidnapped your mother. And you totally pull a Paul Creasy on him, give him that Death Wish motivation. Death Wish, the movie series, the best movie series ever. And give them that nomenclature to where if they don't shape up here and start helping out on this war effort, all of their friends and family are going to be recruited into Grimm's book and be obliterated, and the players were impotent the whole time and did nothing to save them or stop them. Even though if they would have started, the loot would have been flowing from the bad guys' encampments into the players' hands. Completely legitimate. I'm just laying that out there, and I know I'm an asshole for saying that, but
I played and at least go for it.
I'm gonna answer Helsente's question there or statement. You presume that my situation was an account of gaming stores and modern 5e or Pathfinder culture. You would be correct in at least one of those statements. It was 3.5 and Pathfinder culture. So, this was all homebrew games before 5e was even a budding thought in WotC's little mind. This was at the height of 4e, believe it or not. The second year into it, so 5e hadn't even been conceived yet. So it was a culture thing from 3.5 mostly of loot and scoot. Don't give one flying rat's ass about the story. Just loot and scoot. So that's where most of that stemmed from, which is why I am fleeing as far away from everything WotC and Paizo as far away as I can, because I am never going back to those systems if I can help it.
it's all right. There's one in production right now that you'll probably fall right in love with. Got all the crunch
Maybe.
you love. Got all the crunch you love.
This is where I'm going to currently.
Warm up your percentile dice, Jade.
Ooh, yeah. What is it?
The system I'm running. The system I'm creating.
Oh,
I'm bludgeoning.
am I rolling? Am I rolling under a percentile number?
Over?
Well, I'm fucked.
I'm guessing you have a dice issue or a perceived dice issue.
I cannot roll high on any amount of dice, except my new metal ones. My actual table breakers are fairly decent at rolling, actual random. All my plastic dice will never roll above median roll ever.
That's why I've been trying to get him to come over and play that Star Wars.
The Star Trek game.
Yeah, because you want low numbers.
Yeah. I'd be king at that game. I wouldn't even be cheating.
You realize that can't be. That to me that just makes no sense. Nobody can be cursed that much, especially now that you're on TV, so to speak. Now it's going to have to turn. If it is a real thing, it has to turn because you put it out there.
Like I said, my table breakers do fairly well. My metal dice, but my plastic dice, absolute shit. I'm never buying another set of plastic dice again. Resin dice don't count as plastic to me. I will buy certain sets of resin dice.
Also, if you guys don't think they're already working on 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th edition of D&D at this very minute, you guys don't understand planned obsolescence or how big companies operate. The entire concept is so ingrained in corporate society that if they had the memory space, they'd already be writing 20th edition right now. But most of them know they probably won't live that long. That's always going to be a thing. That's why I stick with AD&D first and or second edition. Wizards of the Coast and WotC, same thing, and any other big company, they got nothing to offer for me.
Once again, to each their own. I mean, I like Pathfinder first edition. I like 3.5. I've been told I might enjoy even second edition Pathfinder from a mutual friend of ours.
If it were possible, I would say get back to me in 10 years and see how you feel. But I don't really plan on being around in 10 years. So get back to Bruce or Dave or Baron or Kai and see what edition you prefer. If you aren't still thinking, I prefer 5th edition, even though we're looking at 8th edition or whatever it is. You'll understand what it feels like to watch your edition, get buried in more and more editions that just are really only out for one thing, and that's money.
That's right, Nintendo. You should have just stayed with the original Nintendo and let future and technology be damned.
No, we're not talking the same thing. We're talking the written word versus technology. I would never advocate for going back to the Model T. That's retarded. But when it comes to a written game, Monopoly, checkers, chess, games like that have not changed in my lifetime and probably won't for a reason.
That's a whole different argument, and I'll make a really quick one. Chess did change in your lifetime.
No, it didn't.
3D chess. Thank you, Star Trek.
That's not the same game. That's a variation or a new game with completely different rules. The original chess has stayed the same. You can still go and buy it. Same pieces, same board. Not going to change. They may make a new type of chess. It's not the same original chess.
Anyway.
I like arguments like this because there's a movement in both tabletop gaming and in video gaming or computer gaming right now. And while you have a bunch of people subscribing to big corporate games because big corporate games have big corporate marketing schemes and they want to shove their product out and have everybody play, and you're not honoring Gary Gygax's legacy if you're not playing Dungeons and Dragons 12th edition. The fact that you have so many counterculture people that have created their own systems based off the editions of past editions, based off of games they played as kids, based off of ideas and game theory that they thought this might work better, and they put it between two covers and marketed it. And I love the OSR for that reason. And in the same aspect, you have the retro game movement, which you have wonderful computer and video games out there like Dead Cells, Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. And you have all these wonderful style games that are almost straight out of the 16-bit era, but they're not to be beaten within a 6-hour time span. They are games with DLCs, and you can log 40 hours on them, 50 hours on them, and they're fucking platformers before you see the ending screen. And not just the ending screen, just one of them, like one of 17 or 20 endings. Because you suck, you have to really get good and get good scrub and learn the intricacies of the game to see the best ending possible. If you don't want to do that, you just go to YouTube and watch a Let's Play. But there are so many people that prefer the old style of entertainment, and so they're going to go back to second edition AD&D. They're going to go back to what TSR printed. They're going to go find Gary Gygax's legendary journeys and see where was he at whenever he left TSR. And so you have the same mindset in people that like video games. They're like, I really love Castlevania 3. I want to play a game like Castlevania 3. And so I point them towards Bloodstained, which is one of the best PC games I've ever seen and played. I prefer Dead Cells myself, but that's just a matter of taste. It's a roguelike platformer versus Bloodstained, which is very set level design, which I can appreciate both camps. Both of them will provide you with hours of entertainment. The fact is that because people are tired of EA and Paizo and WotC issuing out another update to a tired-ass game engine with no real content, with no real heart, you have people that are taking the American spirit, the love of capitalism, and putting their own name on a box and selling it for Kickstarter or PayPal or through Patreon, whatever it is. And I'm not saying that I don't love the Model T. I'll get in a Model T any day. I just know that I can't use it in my daily driver.
I personally, if we're stepping back, I wouldn't mind a 1979 Barracuda, 1965, 65 or 66, 64. What was Trigger? I know it's in the 60s. 65? Yeah. I mean, but that's just not the world we live in, and we
66,
only
67 convertible Mustang all day long.
I had a notchback 65. It unfortunately died in a fire, quite literally.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
But when it comes to systems,
Just a car.
It's
Now, when it comes to the car analogy, all I care about is if I put the key in and it starts. That's all I care about.
Well, that must be nice because I require a clutch and timing. Otherwise, the normies can drive it.
True. But I'm also the same person who will go pop the hood and start tearing parts out and modifying the fuck out and go, what's it? It's a Frankenstein car now. Good luck. Bye.
back to war about back to the topic at hand. Does anybody have any follow-up answers to the question I asked Jade? If it is better to set the party, at least next generation, into the war, compare it being the first generation? All right, Shadow?
Actually, I never even touched on that. Yeah. I actually prefer to make it first generation. I think with giving the option for it to be like second generation or third generation, you allow for the players to be complacent and go, well, that's just the way things are. We don't care. We're going to move on. You throw it in them in their lifetime. Don't even get me started about that. But you throw it into their lifetime. It's going to be more personal, and you stand a better chance to get them involved so that their children don't have to be involved. Should they actually care about such things, which 99.99 players don't care about, but us real men think about it every day. Jade? Oh, I thought. Oh, sorry, it was Kai. I saw a finger.
Sorry. That was me.
No, it's fine. I just didn't see properly. I'm old.
I won't lie. To go reference a very early set of our episodes is the generational play, and since I don't tend to have, since I've written or helped write or read some. The idea that a conflict can be a very, very long, prolonged one that lasts generations or multiple generations. Just remember, we're at the 1 year anniversary of the end of. There were kids who weren't bored when it started and who had signed up for the end of it. Conflicts here.
Yeah.
And that was recent, and we can go back in time and have the 100 Years' War, the 30 Years' War. Generational conflicts exist. I mean, yeah, you can have the lassitude of going, well, we won the first one. That war's over. It lasted long enough for 20-something years. We beat them back and we won. And why are there elephants coming over a hill, over the mountain? Fuck. Round 2. And don't worry, round 3 is going to involve a dump truck full of salt, motherfuckers, when it's over. And, you can have conflicts that last a long time, and I'm not even look at it as. And I'll admit, I've started conflicts in some campaigns where I never gave the end of it. There was no resolution, and the next campaign was, well, here's the resolution. What happened? Well, bad shit happened. We're solving it now, and it's a whole different group of people. Or I even had the pleasure of here's the war that you know now. So, and player in group 2 is on an alternate theater doing something in the background while the main characters are having fun. Sorry, group A is off having whatever the fuck they're doing, and group B is, what the fuck is going on? Because the news reports from group A are reaching group B, and group B is like, we want nothing to do with the war. Meanwhile, A is off fighting the war, and B is going, we're going to be the guys in the background, war profiteering, working in the shadows in the side. And, well, when they eventually screwed up enough time and got the attention of Group A decided to, they're busy off somewhere, something like, dispatch the fucking police. Dispatch the military police, reestablish order in that sector. And here goes also Group B is all sitting here going, yeah, we're all pretty happy. And then, the Imperial garrison shows up and goes, we're here to kick your ass and beat your ass into the ground. And suddenly the nice little world they were all happy in gets stomped into the ground by people far more professional than them. But we're all really cool, sneaky rogues, and these are stormtroopers. How do you think you can stand toe-to-toe? Well, one-on-one, no, but there's always 12 of them. Always. Oh, there's 4 of you, 12 of them. You're outnumbered 3-1. You can't even beat 2 with the 4 of you. How do you have to beat 12 with the 4 of you? Oh, maybe we should think smarter, hide. You're now part of the resistance. Congratulations. How are you going to survive while you're being hunted by the garrison? You mean there's like 12 of them? No, that's just a squad, motherfucker. There's a whole lot more of them in the town. How do you survive? Now you've brought the war to them. And they're like, oh, shit. And I have no problem, going, hey, congratulations, party. You're now wonderful new players. And, well, are there any jobs? There sure the fuck is. Where? Over there at the Eternal War in the Twilight Empire. What's that a war of? Man versus the demon hordes that are trying to overwhelm you. Oh, can we go fight there? No, you're too low level, but you can work there. And there's always something. There's always a conflict raging somewhere that you can be thrown into, and you go, but haven't they always been stabbing each other? Yeah. Okay. Because that's just how life, the universe, and everything is. Hell, to go back to Tolkien, well, there's no war going on. You can go to the north. You can go fight with the Rangers. Yay! And suddenly, you're now in the middle of guerrilla warfare against, orcs in the north. Congratulations. Enjoy yourselves. Have some fun.
Buy war bonds. Sorry, I just had to say it.
What was that?
Buy war bonds.
Buy war bonds is right.
I just watched the first Avenger again because I really like that movie, and the part where they're trying to sell the war effort makes me laugh every time I see it. And I probably shouldn't. I probably should be sad or upset, but that is such a well done. Like, Marvel couldn't do that today. If you want to know what Marvel's doing, just go read some internet traffic about She-Hulk. But
actually, She-Hulk is not that bad. But okay, it feels like the comic books.
You're saying that like eating dog shit isn't really that bad.
See, here's the rub. Here's the war. Here's the actual war. With everything, if you already pre-hate it, it doesn't matter if that person produces something that's worthwhile. You're naturally going to hate it because you already hate it to begin with.
Actually, I'm going to hate it because it's not respectful of the previous comic books.
Did you
like that about the Marvel properties ever since like 2012 after the first Avengers? They started getting further and further away from what I liked, and they made a product that is infinitely renewable, but they forgot how to put that magic in after 2018, and everybody else found their way on my side of the fence. And I'm kind of sorry I have a side of the fence on this, but I really like Iron Man 1. Go ahead.
It's just it's a movie. There is no. It's at the end of the day, we're arguing about fictional, and I use this word again, fictional people.
Whereas I'm just going to hate it because it came out of Hollywood. I know none of you have been there recently. The place is a shithole. It literally, you have to avoid the shit. It's not just Frisco. You literally have to walk around the human shit on the star on the Walk of Fame. It is a garbage pit.
Yeah. There's a lot of documented evidence of that.
I'm not saying what's ever going in California is going on with California. I have nothing to say on the matter. I'm just going to say that I've been watching the 38-minute episodes, last 2 episodes of She-Hulk. They feel like the comic books. I used to read the comic books as a kid. I enjoy them. They're hitting all the right marks. But
have you seen a Marvel movie you didn't like, Connell?
Yes. Yes, I have. I've seen a few.
Which one?
In order, Captain Marvel.
That's a good start.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Thor, Dark World, all the Spider-Mans before the newest Spider-Man. So yeah, I have seen Marvel movies that I don't like.
Well, I hated watching Iron Man 2 extra times, but they put out Doctor Strange and then they put out Black Panther.
See, I like Doctor Strange and like Black Panther. I thought they were different.
I thought it was a retelling of Iron Man 1.
Yeah, I haven't seen a Marvel movie I liked since Iron Man 1.
Back on topic. This is not Table Breakers.
Back door. So with campaigns that are involved with wars, I really think it's important that you keep the scope relative to what the players are doing. Now, if the players are involved with staff, go ahead, give them the numbers. Go ahead, give them the dailies. Give them the information that they need in order to continue making decisions and continuing to push people around and large logistical numbers. And there are people out there that really enjoy that type of game. Chimerian is exactly that type of person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people find that to be not their style of game, and that's all right. I don't like 5th edition. I don't like 4th edition either. I really didn't like 3rd edition after Dragon Magic and the Complete Silences came out. But that's just me. I do like 3rd edition for a lot of things, and I'm planning on abusing that system and engine as much as I can the rest of my natural life. I think it's got everything I need, and I can sculpt it the way I need to. Now, for running a campaign with war in it, I'm going to ask Connell, what would you do? Say you've got players in your party like what Jade had, and they're really not into this war situation. Do you just table flip and be like, well, fuck this campaign? What do you do? What are you going to do?
If I got players that are not involved in the campaign, I got to look at it from 3 points. Is it the story that they're not liking? Is it money? Where's money involved in this?
Well, because you get paid to play in a lot of instances. I figured that was one of the 3.
No. I mean, I can see where you say that, but no. The player's not digging the story. Am I not digging the story? Or is it just like watching the last season of MASH, where it's more preach and less action? So if I got a group of people that don't like the campaign, I won't flip the table. I'm like, look, where's the problem? Where's the hiccup? Can we fix this? Can we move on? or do I just scrap it and we go back to a module type play where everybody is safe and comfortable and don't have to think for themselves?
That sounds like hell.
I mean, that's what I did.
So
I threw my hands in the air and gave up. I haven't written anything for anyone for probably the better part of 8 years now.
I think is incredibly sad because I love the campaign, the last one you ran. I look, fuck, I don't know
You
if
were
it was
one
everybody
of the
else was.
four.
What?
You were one of the four.
So, I mean, fuck them. I mean, one being my ex-wife, fuck her double. So, I don't know. See, I think, a war campaign should have the meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes, the potatoes should be the underlying story. What is driving the war? And the meat should be the players realizing that if we don't do something, that this is only going to get worse. The safest hands out there are still our own. And if a table doesn't understand that, there's nothing you can really do about it. Even if I'm working at the shop and the player's like, well, I'm not digging this campaign, I'll sit down and talk to him. I'll hash out one whole night to see, okay, where's the hiccup at? Because if it's a story worth telling, it should be told. I got preachy.
Yeah, but not every group. As much as I like my military campaigns, and I really do, and I hate them at the same time, but I do realize that certain groups certain groups of players don't do well with them. And so you just got to be able to read the room.
That is absolutely true.
I mean, I've had groups where I've had great plans and then shelved them because I realized I am running for the Beers, Whores, and Cash group, and went, okay, sure, I can run something cool. And at that point, you change gears, you change shit. Like if I'm so dedicated to, I have to run something, with armies and shit, I will move that to the background, and I will just go, hey, you guys want to play a game of Monuments Men? And have them go and play Indiana Jones. I played, people who are, they're a bunch of mercenaries. Yeah, they're out there for their own wealth, but you can have, there's always a fun little shit that you can do. Hell, that's where you can run your Black Sheep Squadrons, your McHale's Navies, your Kelly's Heroes adventures. Where you're having all this whole framework, but if your party wants to go fuck off and do something stupid, you can run your Apocalypse Now moment where we're blowing up a village. Why? Because we want to surf, motherfuckers. I mean,
Charlie don't surf.
Right. And so, you know what? Yeah. It's like, so rather than have the movie be about that point where the important things go on after the cavalry's dropped them off, well, focus on the cavalry. Have some fun. Do your Full Metal Jackets. Play these things where you're focusing now on the misfit groups, the people who they don't fit. They were just drawn into this thing. This is the era of conscription, where congratulations, you're in the draft, motherfucker. I don't want to be here. Nobody really wants to be here. This kind of sucks. And sure, you can have that one guy who goes, I had all the pictures in the world and I volunteered. What the fuck is wrong with you? As everybody else gives him that stink guy because we're all a bunch of fucking weirdos. And listen to a lot of the old timers, that's what you get to hear about is stupid shit that's happening. That, fuck it. Make it into the, trying to avoid it, trying to do whatever you can to get out of there. Hell, you have your Corporal Clingers out there who are trying to, I just want to go home. Like, what can I do to get home? We all know you're not crazy. You're just trying really hard. I will keep trying until one of you goes, he's crazy and sends me home. And you can have the players who go, we have no interest in this entire thing, but we're here because, well, shit says we're here. Hell, you're doing Twilight 2000. Nobody wants to be there. Fuck. If your players are like, we're playing Twilight 2000, and do any of you want to be part of the military anymore? No, the nukes dropped. The nukes fell last year. We're all fucking stuck. We haven't been paid in 12 months. Why the fuck does anyone want to be here? And now it's just try to get home. Try to do whatever you can. Fucking survive. Well, you have those, some players are like, I want to join back with the regulars. What the fuck is wrong with you? We're warlords or refugees. Fuck it. The moment my players go, we don't, like, if I've already committed to, I'm doing the military, I'm doing a war campaign, and my players go, we don't really have interest in this. Fuck. All right. The wheels come off. Shit goes wrong. Things are going to get interesting. Fuck. What was the movie about the three goddamn soldiers three kings, who were out there just trying to get fucking Saddam's treasure out of the fucking Iraq? Play with that kind of shit. It's like dude, fuck this place. Let's go steal a tank. Let's go find something stupid. I don't want to go fucking AWOL. Let them fucking go. And fucking go A-team on this shit. Let them fucking go A-team. Let them go fucking become mercenaries. Let them go do something weird trying to, like, make ends meet. Just give them more to do. Yeah, I could just say, campaign over, you're not doing what I want, but you know what? I like to see, no, if my idea wasn't good enough, what's yours? Well, I'll still GM it, but go ahead, guys. Here's the wheel. Here's the keys. I'm still the motor. I'm still the one who's running the entire world, but you drive. You tell me where you want to go, and you guys have the fun. But we're still, yes, you're still in the service. Congratulations. Or you're still rebels. Oh, fuck. Like, if my people don't want it, I don't want to be it. Yeah. Throw them into the resistance. Throw something in there. Let them go fucking, change their names. Go become tramp freighter pilots. Crew members. Just go out there. Escape. Live. Yeah. And I'm going to go out of my way to remind you of, hey, all those people, all your friends you left behind? Yeah. Bad things are still happening. So in the background, while they're off living their own lives, shit's still happening. And now I get to put that all into a narrative, and then every once in a while remind them as something terrible happens, and oh hey, that was that guy I really liked. Oh, and remind them that they made a bad choice. Make them live with the fact that they've done something wrong.
We're gonna say something there, Jade?
I was going to address the comments in chat. James L. says RPGs are a derivative of wargaming. You are correct. Who are these peeps not up for some swordplay? It's not that they're not up for swordplay. It's they are 3-5 players, and 3-5 did away with the entire wargaming aspect, unless specifically you get into the minis war games set of rules, which are separate from the role player set of rules entirely. Like, they don't even play the same. So those peeps only want to, basically what most of the 3-5 games that I have experienced, not necessarily all of them, but quite a few of them, are fuck, marry, kill. We all know that. Fuck, marry, kill. But there's no marry because they don't care about the story. They just want to fuck or kill, and that's it. So it's actually fuck, kill, loot. That's all they care about. So that's why I can't run a war game, because my players are not interested. Plain zero interest. They don't care about the wargaming aspect. They don't care about, oh, hey, that army over there is going to literally burn everything here to the ground. Okay, we'll just leave. Like, that's how most of my war games have gone. And I don't know how to get them interested in saving the country. I don't know how to get them interested in saving the world as a whole. They don't care if the whole world, devolves into, debauchery and destruction. So long as they have their money and their whores, that's all they care about. So, I mean, beyond, like, how, so my question is, how do you get players like that interested in the war concept? How do you get them interested in wanting to participate and win the war?
I don't even know how I could be friends with people like that, to be honest.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm at, which is why I have not played as a player in most of those gaming circles for over 10 years now.
I know that
Just
feeling
plain
really,
left.
really well.
I like the fact that you did add me as one of the 4 people who actually was there to play the war game. I'm going to throw that out. Rule number 3 covers thy own ass. But yeah, I mean, it's the last campaign, and I'm not trying to drive this at you, Jade, by any stretch of the imagination. But realistically, I've been in 2 different war campaigns in the last 3 years, yours and Bruce. Where yours, the last one you ran was a module, Wrath of the Righteous, where I felt maybe I didn't see what you saw. I saw the clumsiness of the module, but that wasn't you. That was the module. But the people that were in that campaign wanted to be there and wanted to win that war.
Yeah. But that was an entirely different group of people than I was gaming with before.
Was this like after I moved?
Yes.
Okay. I see the problem here. I moved.
No. The problem was I kept gaming with a group of people who weren't interested in story. They were just interested in Monster of the Week. And it took me too long to realize that.
Gotcha. Well, Kingmaker has an interesting war concept to it. Wrath of the Righteous. If we're being as clumsy as that module was, I'd fucking rip out Mythic. That's just my opinion. I'd rip out Mythic and just run as is. Yes, I did.
There's a lot of things I rip out.
Not as much as others, but I did. I also have a way of humbling my characters. Is there? Homebrew aside, is there any decent modules from back ADD era? System agnostic, whatever. Is there any modules out there for whatever system that build for good wargaming? Sci-fi, fantasy, it being bold action, or Civil War, or what was it? Wings of Glory, I think, is another one out there where you're playing pilots during World War World War II. Does anyone have a particular standby? Like, I want to run this if I'm going to do war out of a module instead of doing homebrew.
Battle systems for AD&D, I think it was 2nd edition, came with all the rules to basically turn your regular D&D game into a war situation. I believe it came with an introductory module, and I'm pretty sure there was at least 1 or 2 other modules for it. But I only had the box set. I used the hell out of it and then got rid of it because I was not using it anymore. I had come up with my own system, which really didn't need all the special cards and things like that to make it work. I could just use index cards or miniatures more and more, that sort of thing. But it's really not hard to extrapolate. Just like they did in the old days, 1 miniature represented 10 or 100 bad guys or good guys or whatever, knights, archers, whatever. That's how they did it in the old days. Spells and swords from TSR, chainmail, etc. From way, mind you, these you're going to pay a pretty penny because they're a part of history, and you're buying it more for that than for the actual rules at this point. But they're probably available free online. There's lots of ways to do it, and any good DM worth his salt to be able to, come up with either perfect system or even just something abstract to pass the couple of game sessions where the players are actually going to be, in an actual battle. Because I don't see any players wanting to continually, do a wargaming situation in their D&D game, as the greater part of the game. If they did, they'd be asking you to play an actual war game instead. And you could always do that, if you need to, interject a war situation into the campaign. You can go, okay, well, you guys don't want to be part of it, but you three do. So I'm going to let you two play this army against me in an actual war game. Winner takes all. Because if you don't have a couple of wargaming players in your group, maybe you might want to recruit a couple, if that's what you want, because at some point there's got to be an equal give and take between players and DM. As DMs, we're not here to cater to their every whim, and they've got to realize that there has to be some fairness. We're all playing, okay? We're all there to have fun, but if the DM there is just there, as a servant to their whims, no one's going to end up being happy in the end, because the DM's going to do stuff to piss them off, and the players are just going to keep taking advantage of them. At some point, you got to put your foot down and say, look, this has got to be something like 50-50 for us. I want this as a DM. You want this as a player. Let's meet in the middle.
I agree with that. Baron, got anything?
Nope. Once again, you guys pretty much covered everything.
I'm sorry.
Bruce?
We've talked about the items I wanted to talk about for the most part. And if you have more questions, I'd be more than happy to answer from my perspective.
No,
Right.
no, that's fair. That's fair. I guess you being an original. Let me circle back. Kai, do you have anything you want to say to the last question I asked?
Which was older editions mass combat systems.
Yeah.
If you want to try and enjoy the world's worst D&D mass combat rules of the entirety of history, play Birthright. Boy, I like playing slightly more intelligent Stratego. Such a good game. Fond memories of trash.
All right, then I will circle back to Bruce really quick, if that's cool with everybody. Bruce, I known you to run Pathfinder. When me and you first met, well, okay, the third time we met, we're not going to talk about the first time we met, but the third time that we actually met and I wasn't drunk, you were running, was it two different ones from Paizo? It was
Kingmaker and Curse of the Crimson Throne.
Right. Now, I'm in your campaign now. Me and Charlotte are both in your campaign. Kai is in your campaign, kind of in the wings, but he is in your campaign, to say. Now, with that being said, do you prefer the war scenario game you're running now compared to the ones you've done in the past? Or did you enjoy Kingmaker? Or, I mean, I don't actually know how many of the old Paizo games you ran.
I ran Kingmaker 2 times, once in Illinois, once down here in Texas. We got all the way into book 5, and the players started to just decide that they wanted to go play something else because my shipment of Tolus materials had came in from home, and so they saw that, and they were like, I want to play in Tolus. And one of the players decided in the middle of a big fight, and I say like 70, 80 people on the table, that he was going to shove his portable hole into a bag of holding.
Oh, shit.
And that was the end of that campaign.
I'm going to just say, fuck Kingmaker. Ultimate Campaign is the best book you'll ever need. You can throw Kingmaker in a dumpster and just read the refined, superior version of the rules that have everything you need without this shitty Kingmaker shit written on the fucking cover. This book, as you can, right. So as you can see on my copies, all these little tabs on because I run Kingdoms, so therefore all my Kingdom tabs are all.
All right. Now that's first edition, right?
Yep.
Okay. The best part about this Ultimate Campaign is it's almost completely edition agnostic.
Yes.
It requires almost no conversion work whatsoever to convert anything in this over into 2E because all of the mechanics here are not dependent at all on any of this weird new classes. So you could play this. Oh hell, you could probably import the 90% of this book unmodified and dump it straight into whatever bullshit do you roll a d20 engine you could ever want. Because honestly, as long as you got some form of the 6 stats, you can use this book in anything that has the word 6 stats, the 6 stats in it, because you're fucking fine. As long as you can find an appropriate conversion of, well, my game doesn't have this skill. Does it have something close to that? Yeah, then use that. And suddenly you have a book that has. Are your players not general staff officers? Yeah, then you're fine. We got this. Do your players have an addiction to playing, SimCity or City Skylines? No, but I still want to run. I still want to run an organization. I can help you. I want to design a house. Are you an architect? No, but you still want a house. Yes, I can help. This book will help you. I have downtime and I don't want to sit around just jacking off and sharpening my sword all day long. I can help you. This book will help you. Read the fucking manual. And suddenly players can actually go, wait, there's more I can do? Yes, in everything you could ever want to do. Does it give me rewards? Yes. Engage. Have a life outside of I live only. I live only to rip and tear and have boss music playing around me at all times. Fuck yeah, Doom Guy. Yeah, well, guess what? You can't always be Doom Guy. Sorry.
Fair enough. Now, going back to continuing with the actual train of thought. Now, that being a Pathfinder book, would a person who still runs any of the basic stats, would you recommend adding that book to their collection?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, if you know where to find me, I will just send you a copy of my digital version and go, read it, enjoy it, buy it for yourself if you want. If you don't want to spend money, I will give you a copy. I will loan you my copy. Read it, so that way someday if I sit at your table and I will know I have some more options to do than please insert adventure. I will do adventure now. I want to do more than that. I want to create, build, do amazingly wonderful things. I want to create targets for the GM to kick over. I want to build anthills so that way the GM wants to pour lead down, so I can have it. I can come out angry and want to be able to feel engaged and motivated to just burn down things. I want to build a town and then have an evil villain light fire to it, so that way I have a reason, a motivation to go raise an army to go burn down the neighboring kingdom. I want to have a reason for it. I want to create a reason for you to have something that you can kick over that makes me want to get pissed at whatever the fuck you had come and kick my shit over. If I am a wandering murder hobo and all I care about is the fact that I got a pup tent, so therefore the only way you can hurt me is you take my shit. And now I'm angry, you take my shit, I'm going to burn your shit down. We've established this in the past. This is how I operate. But if you allow me to have fun, if you allow people like me to have fun, to build, to engage, to have families, to have employees and servants and workers and friends, and build something that I think is important, and then you come in and burn it down. Oh, now it's personal. Now it's not just simply you had to go burn down the donkey carrying all my shit. No, now you burned down a lot of my shit, like the house, the neighbor, and my friends. And now you killed Bob. I like Bob. Bob owed me a lawnmower. I'm going to fucking kill you now because I have a personality. I have a motivation now to go on a war quest because you killed Bob before he could return my lawnmower. And now we got a plot line. Holy shit. And it's better than just simply sitting there. I wait at the bar for you to insert adventure, so that way I may now go follow your path. Adventure time. I shall now go kill rats, and then gobos, and then orcs, and then Drow. And then I'll fight the bugbears who also work for the Drow. And then the Drow priestess. And then there's a bad guy. There's some Fays. I kill some Fays. And now, because we're playing Dungeons & Dragons, a dragon! A dragon! It's so powerful! Through my dragon! Stabby dragon time. Oh, fireballs and spells and stabby happens. And now you've killed a dragon, and now there's a god pissed at you. And gods and demons are now showing up. And now you have an epic fight between gods and demons. And start the chain roll. The chainsaw may have +1 swords, and go into battle. This is an adventure. This is what every adventure path is. This is literally every adventure path ever written right here. And then ultimately you'll fight Strahd, Strahd, or some 7-headed dragon bitch, or some drow goddess, or some fucking other weird thing, or you gotta destabilize the entire universe, or save the universe and stop a pit fiend, or whatever. This is what they all are. This is just, you get in the boat. They say keep your hands in the goddamn cart. You ride to the end, and you go fight the boss, and whee, purples, ooh, and a legendary, yay! And then you go off and go have your fun. No thanks.
That was the most entertainment that we've seen out of Kai for a while, because he was happy and he was talking about a book he loved, and then he talked about usual D&D play. A dragon, kill it. I get the XP.
Yeah.
I was about ready to say, did somebody slip Kai some of that sugary cereal? Well, I can't wait to get
product to waste.
80. I actually got one last question. Maybe this is more of a Shauner's point of view kind of question. But when it comes to the last bit of RPing, right before the...
Sorry, the comment in chat. I enjoyed myself once.
Amazing. I've been reading chat. Do you like...
Yeah, you're right.
I don't even know how to... Man, yeah. Anyways. So, the last big battle, do you have your big bag show up, or do you kind of cower it like Lord of the Rings, where you send out your he sends out his mass army, and you hope the players can take it on?
Of course.
Oh, dear God. Yeah. You gotta have a big fucking last fight.
I mean, well, the reason why I've asked is they have found some real dictators hiding in a hole. So I have to ask these questions.
Yeah, but it's not the real world. We're trying to escape that nonsense.
But the thing is that to circle back to an earlier comment I made at the start of this thing, where we're all supposed to be playing big damn heroes, unless the campaign is Saving Private Ryan shit, and at that point, whatever, the big damn hero is a Tiger Tank. But come on, if you're not ending a camp, if you're going to go into this going, I want to end the war. The players are all fucking badass. They have reached badass rank. They are 20 plus badass ranks. They are fucking ready to go. It's like, yeah, let's go do some shit. Fucking let them go flying in there and do some Wolfenstein levels of shit. Where you drop it, you drop in there, some airship, it's like it's fancy bullshit. Some airship flies into the to the magical bullshit that's being fired up at you, and you guys are fucking skydiving in there, and parachuting in, whatever. You're going out there to be fucking hey, we're going to go do some Captain America level, first Avenger level shit. You should be ending the campaign where, yeah, it is time to go fight Mecha Hitler. Fuck yeah. And have it all set up too. It's like, oh, you reached the hangar bay. The super has already flown off, but Mecha Hitler's waiting for you, and he's in his full oh shit. This is the point. You're ending this thing. Let the party fucking go out and unless you're playing it full geopolitical and it's realistic and yeah, blah 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 blah, whatever. Force the bad guy to kill himself in a bunker or whatever. But sometimes players are go bullshit. We're all been heroes. We've been fighting this thing and we got to the end. Let us go at least stab Stalin in the face with a bayonet 12 times. Let us fucking have some goddamn fun. Like
That should be the crowning achievement in their history of the character.
Yeah.
And by the way, Kai, I'm stealing that Mecha Hitler. I don't know when or where, but I'm stealing that.
Go ahead. I said
That's
go for
fucking
Wolfenstein.
hysterical. If my son's not laughing downstairs, it's only because he's not watching. Because that's fucking hysterical.
It's Wolfenstein 3D. That is 1992, like early 1990s evil villain from Wolfenstein 3D. End of the game, you fight through the castle and you fight Mecha Hitler. Fuck yeah! Why the fuck not? I mean, if you're not fighting Mecha Hitler, you should be fighting, some evil villain on an airship that's going to go blow up the Capitol and having a fist fight because you disarmed each other and you're just beating the shit out of each. Like, fucking have the players be like, this is the fucking end. Just go and fucking have some fucking fun. Jesus Christ! Let the players run into Berlin and put the flag on top of the Reichstag. Let them be the fucking guy who's do that. Let the players be the one who either pushes the bomb bay button and incinerates a city. Let them be the people who fucking do something phenomenal, because obviously this is supposed to be their story. And sure, the end of the campaign might just simply be, hey, you got the fucking corporal who's a useless piece of shit. He's the last one, and he doesn't want to run away when you told him to live. He lived, congratulations, fuck yes. Or, hell yeah, the end of the campaign is literally your destroyer blowing the fuck out of a submarine on the surface with deck guns. Because that was an awesome scene of Greyhound. Fuck yes. Let the players have their penultimate moment and go, you sail off to the sunset, you escorted the convoy to cover, you've won.
Give them that moment give them a reason to retell the story, so that they get more people into it. Let them tell complete, utter strangers, let them have that high for the next week. They're thinking about the boss fight, lopping off Mecha Hitler's head, kicking him in the nuts, whatever.
Yeah.
Give them a reason to become the bards and, continue this hobby. That's how.
Yeah. Hell, to go back to Lord of the Rings. Oh shit, there I was on my back about to get killed, grab sword, cut ring off. Fuck yeah. That would be the end of a war campaign right there. Oh shit, you beat the boss. Well, congratulations. Or, oh shit, fill in the blank. There better be an oh shit moment, and as every good story is, oh shit, there I was. Go for it. Fuck, give them that shit. Hell, I've done multiple of these things where it's where the end of the fight literally is everyone knows this is the end, and everyone's pulling out all the because every one of us who plays a game, we always have that pile of shit that we always save for when the important thing happens, or when all things go wrong, I'm gonna pull out this trick, and then suddenly when the players realize, oh shit, this is it, they're trying to pull out. Okay, this is the tricks. These are the tricks I've got. These are the things I've been saving. Oh fuck! And now they're ready. And now for once you can see the players finally kicking in and going, I gotta use all this shit. This rocket launcher I've been saving for the last 5 adventures, I'm gonna use it now. I'm gonna use this potion of awesomeness I got lying around. And they start scrambling through their notes and they go, shit, what was that thing I forgot? We can use it now, right?
Damn.
And then when your players are all sitting here having oh shit, how do we get there? Well, I know a guy. And then suddenly you're okay, so we can't get there. And players are pulling all the awesome things that they've finally been holding on to, and they were calling in favors, doing things. Hell, I've had players in a fantasy campaign realize that they were about to go up against a primordial dragon of fucking he had a fortress on a mountain, on a volcano mountain. It was, and they're we can't fight this guy. But over the course of the entire campaign, we've been making friends with all of these people, and well, I'm going to call in the favor. And suddenly they've got an army of people, and they're raiding this monstrous fortress. Yeah, they're losing people left and right, but the people all know their goal was to get the party to the end boss. And suddenly it's like suddenly my players are like, this was an awesome scenario because characters that they've met who have gone, we're not powerful enough to be able to fight, to get to the end of this fortress, but we can open the door and we can hold that door open, or we can prevent the reinforcements from the lower depths of the cave from being able to run up, and it's like, we'll buy you time. And like suddenly you have people sacrificing themselves because other people realize this is the spear point. This is the heroes. The war will end if the heroes can beat this, but we can't help them. But we can sure the hell do the fucking and do the Samwise thing. Pick up Frodo, carry him to Mount fucking Doom. Let the players, let them fight it. God, let them end it, and let them realize this is it. If you die, it won't go well, and it makes the tension high enough so that way it's like and now's the point as a GM, you can take the kid gloves off because this is the end point. Dice don't there is no point past this. Well, there could be, but as far as this arc is over, kid gloves are off. No punches are being pulled. Dice are not. You're not fudging dice anymore. You're not hiding anything. It's just simply kill or be killed. Let the dice roll their way. This is one of the few points where I always say kill or be killed is the right answer. The dice roll where they fucking go, because this is the point where it should matter. And yes, let them, let the bad guy just pull out tricks out the ass, because this is the point where they should just be awesome.
Amen.
Anything you want to add to that, Jade? Mr. Baron Bruce.
I just wanted to say thank you again to James L. for the super chat and for the super sticker that we received tonight. That will keep the fires burning bright over here at the Department of Solitude and keep Tablebreakers a regular feature on Thursday nights.
Well, I guess the last off question I have, and I'll throw this right in. If planning to do a war campaign with your people, it being fantasy, sci-fi, or being historic, what movie? One movie. What is your go-to?
Can you repeat the question?
If you're planning a war, if you're planning out a war campaign and you have only one movie available to watch, what movie would that be?
One movie?
To rule them all.
One. It's a toss-up. I got between Bridge Over the River Kwai
You stole mine, man. Damn it.
or Saving Private Ryan, which has one of the best tank battles and tank conflicts in fucking cinema history. I still prefer it over Fury.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kai, you were giggling like a madman.
I have all these great, smart, sensible answers, and the first one that came to mind as you said that was Down Periscope.
Well, it did have Kelsey Grammer in it, so I can't complain too much. All right. What about you, Jade?
I don't watch war films.
Fair enough. Book.
James L. says
book.
Waterloo, and being that it's on
If you're asking about book, it's going to be Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Solid answer. Shadow?
You guys have already grabbed all mine up until this point. I was trying to think of a sci-fi one, but there really aren't any other than possibly the very beginning of Empire Strikes Back, the Hoth scene. When my son and I play Battlefront 1 or 2, it's Hoth right off the bat. Let's play Hoth. That's the closest I got.
I would say Starship Troopers.
Yeah, that's not a bad one, but every time I watch it, I just imagine the book more than the movie, what I want to see versus what I'm going to see. You know what I mean? If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. the mech, the drop pods, that sort of thing. One dude dropped, miles and miles and miles away from anybody else, and he takes out thousands of bugs. That's what I want to see, but they didn't want to do that.
All right.
I wanted to see the bomb. Hi, I'm a 30-second bomb. I'm a 30-second bomb. I'm a 30-second bomb.
Yes.
All right, Baron.
Now, this is probably not going to be considered a war movie, but there is a war going on during the movie.
Okay.
Ready Player One.
All right.
And
Go for it.
And for a book, I'm going to suggest The Forever War. This is an amazing book.
Joe Haldeman.
Was that?
Joe Haldeman.
This is an amazing book. Like, I actually put it as, I'm not sure if it's better than Starship Troopers, but it's on the same line of, and it tells you a war on a level that's just so different. So
I'm reading
different.
the Bolo series right now. Kai, you ever read
Bolo
those?
is good. Yes.
All right, and really quick, I think my answer would be torn between two movies. Was it Last Starfighter?
Woo. Good one.
And Band of Brothers. If I want,
is badass.
I want to say honestly, I want to say it's Spaceballs. If I'm just doing something cheeky, but I was trying to be serious with that last one.
As inspiration for playing in a war game, inspiration for me being a paladin, Hacksaw Ridge.
Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh, oh hell yeah!
Playing that as a paladin.
Oh, that would be fun.
Or as a cleric.
Either way.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Well, that's all I have to ask tonight. We got a few minutes left. Bruce, if you want to send us home, or I can do it.
Not only you did a really good job tonight with the Q&A, my question for you guys is, we have 7 days of prep for our next session for Table Breakers, and I want to have a different topic because we kind of exhausted this one. We didn't really exhaust it. We touched the surface for a couple people here, and I'm currently running a war campaign in my Pathfinder game, or my D&D 3.0 game. So I've got a lot of ideas. I've got a lot of things. Kai did really good by showing off the Ultimate Campaign book. That is a good system agnostic book. You can take that to any edition or any inspired RPG that has a D20 roll versus an armor class. And I think that would be, if you guys are wanting to know more, the pfsrd.com website has a lot of information that's absolutely free. They don't give a shit. Go there, check it out, and maybe it's something that you could add to your own table.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
I do. I've discussed this in our little Discord discussions, and tonight kind of really brought to light exactly what I was talking about. I'm going to be stepping back from Table Breakers for a while. I'll still be helping, doing stuff in the background and whatnot, but as an active participant on screen, that I'll be taking a step back for a while.
Sure.
So
You gotta take care
I
of
want to
yourself.
thank everybody for all the support and everything. Also, I've started kicking up my Twitch again, so I kind of want to focus on that a little bit also. And get back into my gaming. I was on there this past weekend I streamed like 10 hours between Saturday and Sunday, and it really struck the chord in me again. Kind of struck the fires again of actually playing computer games again. So I think I'm going to be focusing on that quite a bit. So I'll still be around. I'll just be more in the background, just listening in chat and stuff. But as an on air participant, I won't be as prevalent as I have been.
Garrett, I'm just going to lay this out here. You're welcome. You've got a spot in the panel for Tablebreakers, one of the founding members, one of my friends, and I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me with what I say there.
No, it's not going to be the same without you, man. You got to come back, man. You got to come back.
The thing is that I tend to go with the old adage of one monkey doesn't stop the show. So that the thing is that we as Tablebreakers we are doing fairly well. I just think I'll be more of use in the back end as opposed to the front of the camera, for at least for now. And working with each of you guys on the backside, helping you guys do stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I still will be around.
Appreciate that.
You better
I'm not disappearing. I just won't be on camera.
Good.
Hey,
I need somebody smart I can bounce ideas off of.
Cheers to you, mate.
Cheers to you, Garrett. Got a question though, Garrett. After you saw the one D&D announcement, were you inspired to reinstall? Were you inspired to reinstall XCOM or XCOM 2: War of the Chosen? Because I sure as shit was.
Pretty much and that's another reason I'm kind of taking a little bit of a step back, because unfortunately I really don't throw my opinion out there as much as some of the others do about WotC and everything else, because I try to keep everything kind of neutral. But my whole thing is that the state of the gaming hobby itself is starting to go down the shitter. I am brutally honest. You can ask anybody here on the panel that knows me in person. I will call a spade every fucking time. It's going down the shithole. Yes, you do have the creators out there in the USR who are trying to keep the fires lit for Gondor, but it's the whole thing of when will the juggernaut get knocked off of its throne so we can get back to actual gaming where politics are not part of it, where people are not bringing it has to be this way because this is the only way it can be, and you all have to do it. If you want to do that at your table, fine, cool, awesome, be different. I'm not telling anybody not to be different, but do it at your own table. Don't dictate to everyone else how you want them to run their game and how you want them to enjoy the hobby. And that's the biggest thing, is that I'm also getting just sick and tired of the bullshit of people who aren't paying my bills, aren't buying books for me, and are not underneath my desk right now giving me, amazing fellatio how to run my goddamn game.
That's more than fair.
I'd say cheers, but I'm already out.
Yeah, I've got very little drink left. I almost want to refill and just slam another. That was pretty good. Anybody have anything else to say?
Go for it.
I was gonna say I kind of have to agree with Baron on this. When people ask, "Hey, how do you play the game?" or "How do you do something in the game?" I'll give a response. But when someone goes, "You need to play the game like this," I go, "Bye," because I just I'm gonna play the game. The way I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna run my table the way I'm gonna run it. And anyone who says, "Oh, if you're not doing it this way, you're doing it wrong," and I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's you're entitled to your opinion. That's awesome. Good for you. But that doesn't work with my group, doesn't work at my table. I'm going to run it the way I'm going to run it. And if you ask me my opinions, I'll give them to you, but I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong for playing the game the way you want to play it. You play your table the way you want to play it. If you want advice, awesome, we'll give it. But if I ask for advice, I'm legitimately asking at that point, and then I want to know. But tell me I'm playing my game wrong at my table with my homebrew setting and my homebrew rules. Fuck off.
I just play to have fun.
Garrett, thanks for starting that.
I'm sorry. I just play to have fun. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You guys know my catch-all for everything. Play the games you love with the people you love, and that's all that should matter. How many of us have memories from when we first started, when we realized we got a rule wrong? We're gonna do that. We're not perfect, and we're gonna pick up a new game, and we're gonna get something wrong again. That's the only thing we can count on in this life is being wrong.
2 years. 2 years. Everybody read the rule wrong for 2 years. And then one guy who was new came in and said, "You guys are doing it all wrong. This is how the rule is supposed to be read." And we all looked at him and went, "Shut the fuck up. You're not like," and he's like, "But you're playing the game wrong." And all of us, "We didn't know we were wrong." "Well, you're wrong. You can fix it now." "No. But you're playing the game wrong."
More fun the other way.
And we're like, "But the game's more fun this way." And the new guy was just like, "Okay." And we were like, "You don't have to play." And he's like, "I want to play." And he played with the wrong rule. And he's like, we all just continued to play with the wrong rule. And oh no, the rules, and
good for fucking him.
Yeah, he realized that he would prefer the group, the people he's playing with, over mechanically the game is now wrong. You're not playing it right. And us, we don't care. Game was fun.
Yeah, there's this thing called house rules, and I'm famous for breaking out the old AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide first edition afterward. If you guys all agree, then those are the new rules.
And yeah.
And whoever's name is at the bottom of the instruction book, guess what I got for him?
I misread that as not activism, but as Activision. I'm like, no, I don't want to do Activision. Activision's bad.
I'll have you know, I am inclusive at my table. I don't care what people's pronouns are. I don't care, if they want to be like, well, I'm a she. I don't care about that. Are you here to play a game? That's what I care about. Are you here to play, an actual character in a game? That's all I care about.
Yes.
Yes. You want to play a lycanthrope character? Okay, we can start at a higher level. You can play a lycanthrope. That's fine. You want to play a furry type character? Okay, that's fine. I don't really give two flying rats' asses about the gender thing, the race thing, the whatever. I don't care about that. I am here to play a game. I will run a table and I will I will run the game. As long as the players are wanting to have fun. Now, what I don't want to run is Murder Hobo of the Week. I don't care about Rocket Tag. Come to play a game. It's a role-playing game, not just a dice rolling game. I'm not running a war game. I'm not running miniature combat. I'm running a full-fledged narrative game. I have a direction that I want to take the game. It may, but I'm going to include your story. I'm going to include your backstory. I'm going to include that one character that you mentioned for one sentence in that story of your background. I'm going to, either A, make them a villain, make them a love interest, or C, I'm going to, make them a love interest that turns into the villain, or the villain kills them and gives you a reason to get into gear and murder the hell out of him for revenge. That's the kind of games I like to run.
Yes.
So yes, I am inclusive. I don't care about all the non-sensory. If you are here to have fun and you're here to play the game, my tavern is open.
Nice lead in with the last one. That was nice.
Yes.
So, since everybody else has said their piece, I'll say mine really quick. Yes, I'm sometimes at odds with Bruce and the rest of the people in this panel because opinions differ. Because as Bruce has said, if we all agreed on everything, it would not be any fun. No one needs any fucking echo chamber. My name is Connell, the Cigar DM. I run the game I want to run. If I'm getting paid to run a game 10 to 1, I'm still playing the game I want to run because I'm a weaseling bastard. I normally get what I want. Ask Jake. With that being said, I want everybody out there to have a fun weekend. If you get a chance to roll some dice, roll some dice. If you get a chance to go out there and hang out with people that you normally don't get to hang out with, go do that. It's going to be a beautiful weekend somewhere. So, with that being said, I will not be here next Thursday night because I'm going backstage and work with Baron because God only knows I have the face for radio. I will be celebrating my birthday, which means alcohol and violence, booze and violence, and cigars. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a good weekend this weekend. I hope everybody has a good week next week and weekend. I will be back. Don't worry. I'm bound to piss off somebody coming to a theater near you.
Yay.
All right. And with that, thank you so much.
Hey, real quick. Connell,
Yes, Sauce.
happy birthday.
Thank you.